today. And really, when they asked us to speak about building this culture of advancing diamonds, we looked at each other and said, I don't think we do anything spectacular. What are we going to share with them? And Emily looked at me and said, I just keep it really, really simple. And I said, I do too. And I think that's maybe the secret sauce. And so our hope today is that there's some little tidbit in here that you can pull out as we kind of walk through the simplicity of how we recruit these business building coaches, through how we help them advance to Emerald, Diamond, and then Star Diamond and beyond. So one of the things as we talked more that we realized that both of us do, but we weren't necessarily taught to do, is that we recruit coaches and challengers at the same time. So in the beginning, we were taught, sign up a challenger, put them in a challenge group, help them see results, and then sign them as a coach. And we both did that in the beginning, and our coaches were seeing really slow growth. Now, as social media has changed, we realize that, no one wants to see that perfect coach show up. Hey, I'm a coach. Well, we don't have six-pack abs right now, but look at my six-pack abs and, sign up with me. It's not relatable. And so by signing up our coaches as coaches and customers, starting both journeys on day one, they now are able to share that full journey. So I know we've all had potential coaches come to us and say, I'm not at my goal weight, can I do this? And we're like, of course you can do this. You don't have to be at your goal weight. It's the exact same thing, right? So week one, when our coaches sign up and they're starting their challenge group, they're not able to get on social media and say, oh, this container thing, this is a little crazy, what am I doing? But then on week two, they're able to say, you guys, I figured this out. Let me show you how I did it. Let me show you how I don't have that perfect life or that perfect meal plan figured out, but I've been able to figure it out, and I've been able to see success, right? It's about the journey. And so as our coaches now take people on that fitness journey, they now have people coming to them saying, I want to join you. And really, Emily's business is the perfect example of this over the last year.
I mean, just like Holly said, I feel like I was taught in the beginning to show up on social media and show the expectations of a coach. And I realized that I wanted to show them the expectations of a challenger by being a really good one myself, because those are the ones that become amazing coaches, right? And so the story I was asked to share, you'll see the little Disney ears right there, was when I went to Disney World while I was on 80-day obsession, 100% committed. And I have people come to me all the time, and they say, Emily, how do I capitalize on starting on day one? And I say, show up when it's really inconvenient. I mean, really inconvenient. Don't just show up when you're in your living room or you go to your mom's house to visit. Show up when you're on vacation. And so for me, a big moment and life-changing for my business, and I didn't even realize it at the time, was when I showed up at Disney World. My husband, bless his heart, he got a hotel that didn't have a gym. That was on day 60. And so old Emily probably would have said, okay, I'll start again when I get back in 9 days. But I was committed, so I showed up and I worked out with rocks. And I still have people that message me about that and join my team because of that post. And I made it my mission then to go through Disney World and find the best healthy options so people knew that they could do the same thing I did. And an example of that is actually one of my top coaches who is here. She has Star Diamond, 2 Star Diamond in 56 days. And she will tell you that she joined me because she saw me do 80-day obsession at Disney World. And she thought, if Emily can do that at Disney World, then I can do it in my living room in Alabama. And she started and signed up as a coach 35 pounds heavier than she is today. And I think that is just such a powerful testimony, because it just shows that you don't have to be perfect in the beginning. And I didn't realize it at the time, but I was training my future coaches. And now that's how I run my business and how I recruit. So what we've been taught, at least from what I remember when I first signed up, is that I had to give people results and then sign them up as coaches. That didn't work for me for about 3.5 years. And so I had to, this whole last year was a whole, change for me. And I had to think, Emily, do what works for you. And that's what works for me, is signing up people from day one. And I'm telling you, I have people come to me and they'll go, Emily, I want to be a coach, but just let me finish 80 Day first. And I'm so confident in my journey and how it changed my life from showing up 20 pounds heavier, really insecure, that I can stop them in their tracks. And I give them this little scenario. And I say, what if I would have deleted my Instagram day 1 of day 80 and not showed back up till day 80? You probably would not be messaging me right now. And they always go, you're absolutely right, because I related to your journey. The whole thing, thought you were going to quit at Disney World. I thought you were going to quit when you went to New Orleans and your family was eating beignets and you weren't. I thought, all these things, but you didn't. And that makes me feel like I won't either. So I just reassure them that by signing up day 1, it adds a whole new sense of credibility and accountability, because now they're not just showing up for themselves, they're showing up for so many other people.
Yeah, so along with setting the expectations to, have their own personal transformation and be these rock star challengers, we also set the expectation that they're going to work hard. So I have never been afraid to share on social media that I work in this business. Years ago, I would follow top Beachbody coaches. It was about the glitz and glamour. It was about the $1 million house or the new car or the new boat or that big shiny object. Now, it's about sharing my journey to get there. It's about sharing my dreams and my vision to get there. So every morning, I show up on my Insta stories. I show that I'm doing my personal development, my affirmations. Every day we're showing up with our workouts. Every afternoon for the past 2 years, I have shown my nap time hustle. And people know I'm working. I then show the time I'm spending with my son. So it's not just about work. This work is now affording me the time to be present with my son. And then after he goes to bed, I work more. I'm not afraid to show them that I have to work in this business to see success. I'm also not afraid to talk about what success means to me. From the beginning, I've said, I want to retire from my full-time corporate job. I want to retire my husband. We've moved a ton. That was really, really important to me. But it didn't happen overnight, and they watched that journey. So once I've done that, and I have coaches joining my sneak peek, I then reiterate all of that again in my sneak peek. So my coaches who join my sneak peek know they're joining someone who I want business building coaches. I want coaches who want to earn 6 figures, and I say that. They know they're going to have to work. So in that sneak peek, I share my income. But along with sharing my income, I share the hours that I worked each year to get to that income. So I talk about that first year, and I was working a crazy full-time corporate job, and I was traveling, and here's how much I could work, and here's what I made. I share about when I retired from my corporate job, and I share each step of my journey, and as my income progressed, how much I worked. And I shared why. Why do I work that much, right? Why am I working 8 hours a day, a full-time job? And I share how I fit it in with my goals. So I have moms who come to me because they want to be home with their babies. So I talk about, here's the money I'm making, here's the hours, here's how I fit into my life, and I'm 100% present with my children. And so that has been huge for me in signing coaches. I set the expectations ahead of time, and I set them in the sneak peeks. They know exactly what they're getting into when they join my team.
So you've heard how you're setting these expectations on social media and our sneak peeks, and you're like, okay, cool, what happens after that? And so I kind of wanted to tell you guys about how I sign people up and what I'm saying to them in that first message after they fill out that sharer card. And I think the simple way to put it is I, again, set the expectation in that very first message to them. And I'll be honest, when I first became a coach, well, actually even a year ago, I thought that I had to have this big fancy email with lots of links and instructions because that's what my coach had. And that never worked for me. I honestly never got one response to that email. And so this year has been a growing year for me, and I had to think, what works for you? And so I keep the conversation where it's at. And if we're talking on Instagram, that's where that welcome email goes. we're talking on Facebook, that's where it goes, email and so on, you get the point. And in this welcome email, it is so simple. You guys are gonna think I'm a really boring person after this presentation because I'm just so simple because it's worked for me. Because I realized like if I'm simple, that's probably what I'm attracting, right? And so in this message or email, whatever it ends up being, is I think about, Emily, what has stuck with you for 4 years that your coach said to you on day one? And that was when she said, if you want to be successful, you're going to hit Success Club, you're always going to advance in rank. So that's what I want my coaches to do. And so in this first email, I send them the link to our university, and then I say, your first goal is to hit Success Club every single month. And this is the way I worded it has changed everything. I say, you're going to help 3 people sign up with what you just did. I don't go into challenge packs, I don't go into SD points or Shakeology or anything, because they bought a challenge pack for me. So now they know it's just 3 challenge packs. And it's actually worked in my favor because they also sign up as a coach, so now they think, without me even saying it, that they have to sign up coaches as well. So I never got a response to that email from someone saying it's too hard. Every single time they say, oh, that's easy, I can do that. And they're hitting Success Club and advancing rank. And the first, I want them to know about the first rank right away, and that's Emerald. And you guys might have heard about these calls that I started this year. So I wanted to break it down for you. I call them Emerald in 24 hours. And I don't want you to think like, that's crazy, because honestly the goal isn't really to get them in 24 hours. It's to get it in their head that it's easy. And so that's why I titled the calls Emerald in 24 hours. So I had this aha moment in January when I had a coach come to me and she said, Emerald, that's easy, I can get there tomorrow. And I thought, why isn't everyone getting there tomorrow? Because I, for years, ran week-long Emerald trainings and month-long Emerald trainings and maybe got 1 Emerald. Now we pop about 4 to 7 a week with this. And so I'm going to break down exactly what I do. My coach and I, my upline and I, we will host them bi-weekly. So we do them every 2 weeks. Our team knows that. And we host them at the same time, and honestly, they're 30 minutes. So they're not even that long. Again, I don't want them to think that they're getting on this hour call and that it's something super complicated, because it's not. And I just make Emerald sound really cool. And I honestly never want to lose how good that feels, because I remember when I became Emerald, it felt so good, right? Like, I don't want my coaches to think that they have to get to 5-star to be celebrated and feel really good, because I'll never forget that shout out I got from my coach and how amazing that felt. So I let them know how amazing it is. And then something that's really, really helped me this year is, especially when we were pushing for Superstar, was I personally reached out to the people in my downline who I see potential in and who I know want to work the business, and I invited them to these calls. So instead of posting, an event or tagging people, I will go out and text them or message them. Hey, I got this call tonight. I think you would love it. I would love to help you, blah, blah, blah. And not only do I do that for my personally sponsored, I do it for my non-personally sponsored as well. And that helped a lot, because I feel like the bigger your team gets, people feel less special. And that's my way of making people feel a little bit more special, and that opens that conversation so that they know they can come to me whenever they want, and they don't have to be intimidated to reach out to me or think that they're, bugging me. So on the call, again, I simplify it. I let them know that it's just you plus 2. That's it. And I let them know that it's gonna, build momentum and credibility, because they're gonna public shout out for me on social media, not only on my Facebook, but my Instagram stories. And they love the way that sounds. I tell them about the team cycle bonuses, the free leads program, all of that. And then I also let them know about the importance of signing your spouse. I know not everyone agrees with this, but it's something my coach told me to do day 1, and it has benefited me immensely, so I have to pay it forward and tell them as well. And I show that income progression, but I show them what I was making year 1, year 2, and now, so they know it's not something quick that happens with a spouse account. And then lastly, I will never end the call without this call to action. And this has been very powerful as well. Sometimes Ashley and I will have 20 people on this call, sometimes we'll have 85. And we let them know, when you get off this call, message us who your 2 people are. I don't want them to think about Emerald next month. I want them to think about it right now and take action right on that call. And so I say, message me, even if I'm not your personally sponsored upline, whatever, tell me. And I expect 83 messages in my inbox. again, opens the conversation, and they know they can come to me for anything, and I will celebrate them as soon as they reach that goal.
Yeah, so very much like Emily, our team does Emerald in 30 days. Emerald in 24 hours, Emerald in 30 days. It's about a simplistic system. It's about not making it harder than it needs to be. So I actually, when my coaches join, I send them a welcome email. It has a quick, getting started right video in it, and I mean, it is quick. But in there, I actually lay out their goals for them. So like I said, I'm asking for business building coaches, so I'm recruiting business building coaches. After my sneak peeks, about 90% of coaches that sign up with me tell me they want to be six-figure top 10 coaches beside me. So my Getting Started Right video is geared towards them. And what I do is I tell them their goals. So I let them know that, you signed up with me, I promised you I'm going to help you build a big business. Here are your first 3 goals that my business building coaches hit to start them on that road to success. Number 1, we hit Emerald in 30 days. Number 2, we hit Diamond in 90 days. And number 3, we're hitting Success Club each month to help us on that journey. They're new. They don't even know what half that means, right? They don't know what that means. But I then ask them, so what are your goals? And I ask them to email them back to me. And they all email me back. Emerald in 30 days, Diamond in 90 days, and I'm going to hit Success Club. Don't make it hard. It's not hard. Emerald isn't hard, and we've all sat in this room and said, Diamond is not hard. Why are they not getting to Diamond? Well, are we making it harder than it should be? So as they hit these ranks, once again, I'm celebrating them. I know I've heard from coaches where they said, when I say these things to my team, they're saying, oh, you're pushing rank on me here. My coach pushed this rank on me. It's her goal, not mine. And Emily and I really haven't had that experience. And I think it's because we really explained to them that, sure, you're gonna hit Emerald in 30 days. You're gonna hit Diamond in 90 days. It's not gonna make you a lot of money, right? 90 days, you're gonna work in the business for 90 days, you're not gonna hit Diamond and be a millionaire. So they know that. But they know that, once again, it's about these shout outs, it's about momentum. So with the changing social media landscape and working in our culture, really, our coaches have to start building that cold market right away. So these shout outs help them do that. There's a million Beachbody coaches saying, I'm a new Beachbody coach. When they hit Emerald, they now are gaining credibility and momentum in their business. When they hit Diamond, more credibility, more momentum for their business. And that's how I'm explaining these ranks to my coaches. It's about earning credibility, it's about earning momentum, and later that income will come. And so that's something we really, really focus on with our coaches when we start having conversations around rank and the importance in our coaches' business. So the Diamond and 90-day groups that we both run, they are simple. Very, very simple. So they're quarterly push groups. They are normally run with several other top coaches. We do 3 live video trainings a week, 2 to 3 live video trainings. And again, it comes down to call to actions, as Emily mentioned, even in our Emerald training, or Emerald call. Really, Emerald trainings don't exist because it's too easy. So these Diamond trainings, there will be training video on Monday. So let's talk about the best ways to discuss coaching. Tuesday, our coaches are now expected to show up and post their actual post or their call to action we talked about on Monday. So the point is, yes, we're giving them training videos, we're keeping them to 15 minutes or less so they can watch them quickly, take action, show us the action they took Tuesday, come back Wednesday, learn a little more. We also ask them to update Diamond roadmaps every single month. So these roadmaps, very simple, but the point is that every single week they're being held accountable and they're having to document their processes. So again, nothing new or spectacular about these. The one thing that both Emily and I have really found success in, especially as these Diamond groups get bigger, are these Diamond chat threads or groups.
Yeah, so again, I was given this idea at the beginning of the year, so it was not my idea. And honestly, when someone told me to try them, I kind of rolled my eyes and I was like, okay, another thing I'll try. And that was the text threads, right? And so I thought to myself, okay, you have to be intentional about it. You can't just put whoever in these chat threads because some people are walkers and some people are sprinters. And so I went through my entire downline, and I do this quarterly now. and it really works for me. And I go through and I see, who needs the emeralds, and they go in one, or who needs the coaches, and then they go into one group. And I don't make it more than 7 to 8 people. And I first did this when we were going for Superstar, and it worked amazing, obviously. And then now they're all in one diamond thread, and they're all like best friends, and they work with each other. I don't even have to do half the work most of the time. And I asked them last time we were together, I said, why don't you guys drop rank? Because that was the question. And they said, because we don't want to let each other down. And that was so powerful to me, because when we're pushing for big goals, we think it's selfish, we think it's about us. But for once, it did not feel like it was about me, because they had created these relationships and these threads from day one, before they were even emerald. And so that was really cool. And then another thing that I've been asked, how I maintain my diamonds. This is something I think we all have access to that we just don't use, so I've heard. And my husband started this for me because he's deployed, and I was looking for something for him to do in another country to help me. And I don't like looking at the back office, we all know it's stressful. And so he started the Notes app on our phone. I don't know if you guys know, but you can set up to your iCloud and you can get notifications for them. So you put all the diamonds and star diamonds in this Notes app, and he updates it every Friday. And he'll update if someone's going to drop rank, or if Taylor's one coach away from 1 star, or if you guys only have this many weeks to qualify for NLC, and they get a ding on their phone the second it's updated, so that they know that they still check themselves, but it's just an extra sense of accountability for us, and we feel like we're helping. We're not just making them go do it on their own.
Yeah, so we do something very similar. We use the Facebook Messenger app for that, but it works really well. And again, it goes back to those communities that you've created in those push groups. So it's not like you're tattletaling on your coaches or hand-holding. It's that community. It's where they can support each other, and they can start brainstorming. Hey, listen, I'm about to drop. I need a new coach. What are we doing this week? How are we pushing one another? So the other thing that I really focus on our team is just creating this culture of advancement, right? So all right, we hit emerald, next is diamond. Then what, right? And after that 90 days, our next expectation is we're gonna get to 2-star. So again, diamond's never about income in our business, it's about momentum. But yet when we get to 2-star, then we can really start talking income. Once they hit 2-star, it's about 5-star, and then 10-star. So we're breadcrumbing these expectations for them, so they're not overwhelmed, but so that they can see this road in front of them. They can see where they want to go next. So we hit diamond, we celebrate, and we put our heads back down. There's never a stopping point in this business, right? It doesn't matter what rank we are. It doesn't matter, right? We're always looking to grow this business. And so that's something that I talk about a lot with my team, and it's really helped us continue, not, I hit diamond, yay. It's, okay, I hit diamond, let's keep building. It's time for 2-star now. And that really helps with solidifying our diamonds. So really, I know this was all probably pretty basic and pretty simple, but it's about the mindset, about that small change in messaging, right? That, okay, you can hit emerald in 24 hours. Who are your 2 people? It can change everything. And really, for both Emily and I, over the last year, we've created over 50 new diamond coaches between us by doing this, right? By keeping things simple, encouraging our teams, and creating community. And I guess that leads well into our words kind of that Jeff asked for. And for me, this business has always been about freedom. And I think that also comes down to the messaging I use, again, in my social media, even in recruiting. So it was about leaving my full-time corporate job. It was about coming home to my first baby. And in the last 10 years, we've moved 8 times. And so then it became about retiring my husband and finding that freedom to create our forever home. And now, that's what I share with my followers, with my coaches. And that's what we all have the freedom to give everyone in this business. And so anytime I feel like, gosh, am I pushing rank? Am I pushing rank on someone? Are these goals about me or about them? I just think about the fact that, no, they signed up with me for this freedom. It is literally my job to help them move this business forward.
and my word would probably have to be family. I'm actually a military spouse, so I live thousands of miles away from my family, and the one thing that Beachbody's been for me is my home away from home, and that's been really awesome. And also being military, I don't see my husband often, so the time that we do have is really valuable, and it means a lot to me that I can be home for that random 20-minute lunch break, or fly to Hawaii for 2 days because he was sent there from his deployment. And it's just been incredible to be a part of this community and have this family, and especially now bringing a little one into the world and being a military family. I can't promise her that both of us will always be there, but I can at least promise her that one of us will. And thanks to Beachbody. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Hope we helped you guys.
We made it well being said. So thank you.
Thank you guys.
Please welcome to the stage